Okay, so very firstly, it's the final time, and at the same juncture, I will now familiarize you with the budget of 2023. Okay, so the salary of the Agniveers would be free from the tax. That's the thing. Even the Finance Minister of India, named Nirmala Sitharaman, used to announce the budget within 1 hour and 28 minutes. It's itself the less and even a brief period of time. Okay, so the very third thing is that the people who earn 7 lakh per year. So you know what? Earlier they were quite grudgingly, forcibly, and reluctantly required to pay 32,500 in the form of tax. But henceforth, they would be no longer required to pay any tax. On the contrary, the people who earn 9 lakh per year. So you know what? Earlier, they were required to pay 60,000 rupees in the form of tax, but henceforth they would be requiring to pay less than that amount, which is 45,000. So, in one sense, the people will be getting the avail of 15,000. On the contrary, the people who earn 15 lakh per year. So, you know what? They would be getting a well of 37,000. Furthermore, they would be requiring to pay 1.5 lakh to the government in the form of the tax. On the contrary, you know what? Earlier they were required to pay more than that one. Earlier they were required to pay 1.87 lakh rupees to the government in the form of tax. Okay, then next thing is that let me give you a colorful account of the description of the cheapest goods versus the expensive goods. The cheapest goods are especially the cheapest goods are not so cheapest one, but according to the budget, the goods are cheap in nature. And so very first one is the Indian television. Next one is Indian cameras. Even third one is capital goods. And the fourth one includes and even involves the electronic goods and even in one sense the electronic vehicles and even moreover in addition to the fact is that it also contains the mobiles, the cheap mobile. And on the contrary, you know what, the expensive goods involves the imported electrical goods, even the imported cars, imported cycles, imported toys as well, even the kitchen chimneys. Moreover, in addition to the cigarettes as well, and furthermore, you know what, a fascinating movement took place with Nirmala Sitharaman, the Finance Minister of India. So the moment was that while she was just discussing about the scrap policy with others, so you know what, she used to say something which was wrong in one sense. She used to relate this that there should be avoided the old political vehicles. And thereafter, the people of Southern they used to give a loud crack of laughter upon the statement. So moreover, later on thereafter, she used to just correct the statement by saying this, sorry, there should be avoided the old polluted vehicles. Even, you know what, 2.4 lakh crore rupees would be spent on railways. That's the fact, and furthermore, the thing is that furthermore, people would be requiring to pay for the online games. Even handsome and hefty amounted money would be imposed on the online games, and that is not the money in one sense, that is the tax that would be which would be imposed on the online games. And very thirdly, you know what, the thing is that the tax on the foreign tour package, that too would be the high one, handsome mounted one. Furthermore, that has increased from 5% to 20%. That's the fact. And in addition to PM Matsya Sampada policy in one sense Yojana, that is pretty awesome one, that is for increasing the income of the fishers. And even its main motto is to its main motto is to motivate the fishers to accompany or to catch up on the advanced techniques of fishing. And furthermore, for this, the government would try the level best to spend 6,000 crore rupees. And even in the coming 3 years, the government just want this, that 1 lakh, nope, 1 crore farmers should be accompanied or even should try to join the natural farming. And furthermore, for tourism, government wanna do sizable and innumerable things, especially, you know what, with the help of tourism, our country, which named India, can uplift the level. Even, you know what, the country India is still the developing one, and for becoming the developed one, India wanna accomplish sizable, ample, and considerable things. And so, even according to me, this would be a great opportunity in the form of tourism that can motivate the foreigners to take place into our country, and thereby our export level, that too would increase, as our country would tend to enable to just sell some amount of goods to the foreigners. Even thereby our country would tend to enable to earn foreign currency as well. That's the fact. And furthermore, you know what, tourism, that is pretty much good for the development of nation. Even tourism that requires the guiders as well. Tourist places like the sacred places, even like the historical places like Taj Mahal, these such sorts of places requires the guiders, the instructors. And even instructors, they should be well educated, they should know well versed about Hindi as well as English as well. And they should be having a solid foundation over at least these a couple of languages, as these are the main languages in India. And furthermore, if one knows well versed about these languages, so you know what, career opportunities, they are quite much for guiders, or even in the form of guiders. 157 nursing colleges will be commenced, even will be started and set up in India, so as to motivate the medical related students, and so as to increase and uplift the level of country. And even, you know what, the literacy ratio, that too would be enhanced. And even if the literacy ratio would be enhanced, so according to me, you know what, India would tend to enable to become the developed country instead of developing one. That's the fact. You know what, as a matter of fact, even it's a matter of regret as well, that India, that is still a developing country instead of developed one. If you are having the gold in the physical form, so you can convert the physical form related gold into the EGR without paying any tax. This is an amazing and fascinating thing. And very firstly, you know what, earlier people, they were quite grudgingly and forcibly required to just pay tax for converting the physical gold into the EGR. Okay, so let me give you a colorful account of Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. This is for providing food to the poor. And you know what, the government just want that nobody should go to bed in the night time with the starving, even hungry stomach. The fact is that you know what, food, that is quite much mandatory and even essential for leading a good life, even especially for surviving purposes as well. And food is the necessity, one can't avoid the food. Even one can avoid the food up to a certain extent, like one can avoid the food for a day, even for a couple of days consistently, but one can't avoid having food for a monos month, and even consequently as well. So food, that is the necessity, that's the fact. Food is the need as well. And so you know what, some people, they are belonging under the poverty line, and so due to that fact, they are unable to have the meals, they are unable to earn the daily bread. And so for those people, the government has, even especially the Prime Minister of India has, even according to me, has just has introduced one of the policies which named Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana. And furthermore, the government of India would try the level best to spend 2 lakh crore rupees for that. And even the recruitment would take place for the 38,800 teachers, and especially for the Eklavya model Avasya schools. As a matter of fact, you know what? Teachers are mandatory for the students. If the teachers would not be in the schools, so how would the students, even how would the children would tend to unable to catch up on academics? Even mostly children would unable to pass the examination with the flying colors. That's a fact. But you know what, as a matter of fact, teachers they play 50% role in the life of an individual. Teachers, they can mold the personality of one. And furthermore, you know what, teachers provide the great knowledge. One can't get that same sort of knowledge from the books, even from the internet, from the Google, from WhatsApp, even from YouTube, even from Twitter and Google, and even from Instagram as well. That's the fact. And so according to me, teachers are the great for all of us. And even National Digital Library, the government of India would try the level best to just introduce National Digital Library for all aged children. Even the library would be containing all different types of books, all sorts of books in one sense. And even the languages, the first language would be English. On the contrary, the others one, especially the other languages, would be all the Indian languages like Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Punjabi, Gujarati, and so on. And even secondly, you know what, all the schools, they would be joined to the National Digital Library. As all the schools, they just want this, that their children, even their students, they should get the best and even the higher level of knowledge. And even, you know what, if one is getting the higher level of knowledge, so one can accomplish anything, one can prosper and flourish anything in the life. That's the fact. Even text, photo, video, or audio would be available in the digital form. That's the fact. Even the last day I celebrated my birthday, and moreover the fact is that I celebrated my birthday with great pomp, even with the great celebration as well. But the great celebration took place in my birthday. That's the fact. And furthermore, you know what, I didn't try to invite anyone, as the fact is that I just feel disgust with the relatives, as relatives, they are just mean in nature. That's the fact. My relatives, they are obnoxious in nature. I'm not talking about all the relatives, but I'm just talking about my own relatives. My own relatives, they are quite much obnoxious, tragic, and terrible one. As even, you know what, the fact is that nobody tried the level best to even wish me happy birthday. That's the fact. Even my mom, my siblings, they all used to encourage me, even they all used to wish me happy birthday, but nobody tried to do so. That's the fact. And furthermore, a big quarrel took place between my grandma and between my mom. And so due to that fact, I was unable to speak English for some moment of time, so I used to just pause the camera for some moment of time. But then I realized that the time would pass away. Even I thought that I would be requiring to just go straight away to the milk dairy for taking milk, and so then I thought that I should take place over here in my own room for speaking English. Firstly, let me aware you with the fact, which is that I'm having a couple of rooms. This is the first one. This is yellow colored room, and my second room, that is green colored painted, and I adore that room quite much, as that is clean and tidy one as compared to this room. You know what, generally my mom, she never tries to just fold the tires, and so the tires, they always spread on the couch. That's the fact. And so due